Kodak is a brand associated. B.G. Morris Gibb married which of these? Which of these was a famous Spanish? Which of these words means shifty? Which of these state capital? Which of these popular TVs? Which of these birds nests on the ground? Which of these would a veg? What is the term for? In what year did A Perfect Contradiction was a hit album? What general term covers pain? Which of these countries had? Which German golfer? Which of these kings could not? What type of building is the Turner? Which of these is a term for a mix of? What is a clove hitch? The main train station. Which fashion designer? Which of these words means required obligatory? How are the seeds of the sycamore? Of whom did Muhammad Ali say he was the great? The Dutch liqueur advocaat is what? Which of these is a martin? A nocturne painting is set at what? Which of these operas is? Which of these is one of the five? Which of these is not one of the 7 days? What is the capital of the Australia? What was the nickname of Which of these means hardly noticeable? What sort of work is Beethoven's Fifth? Aphony is a total loss of what? Who was the tall guy in the 1989 film of that name? Who was the tall guy in the 1989? What gives blue cheese its coloring? What direction is directly opposite to north? In rugby union, what number shirt is worn by the hooker? Who sang on the Swedish House Mafia hit 1, Your Name? What type of joint is the human knee? Chuck and tenderloin are cuts of which meat? In the Mediterranean town of Cannes, what is the crossette? Prosopagnosia is an inability to do what? Prosopagnosia is a Willpower is an album by which artist? What organ is the center of the human circulatory system? The Dinosaurs Gallery is located in which London museum? Who crowned Napoleon Emperor of France in 1804? Romeo and Juliet was a 1981 hit single for. Complete the 1960s peace slogan, Make Love. A subwoofer is a type of what? TV crime drama The Shield was set in what US city? A disbarred person no longer has the right to do what? What other US state has a name that rhymes with Nebraska? What Berkshire castle is said to be haunted by Henry VIII? Brahms' Violin Sonata No. 1 has what alternative? The pubis bone is in what part of the human body? The pubis bone is in what part of the human body? What does the K stand for in the abbreviation AKA? In yachting, what is a Magnus hitch? Which Friends character has the middle name Eustace? The